Screen. And we're live. Hello and welcome to Fermenting Opinions. I'm your host, David Papiden.
I'm your co-host, James McVeigh.
And we are Fermenting Opinions, the podcast in search of a more palatable political ferment. Today is August 8th, 2018. This is Season 2, Episode 16. And tonight what we are going to be talking about is the 2018 primary results for the state of Tennessee, both state level and local. We've had a lot of candidates on over the last month, up to a year, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Interviewing candidates who are running for office in Tennessee, and we're going to talk about basically how they fared. There were some wins and more than a few losses, unfortunately, for people we've had on. But we're going to get into all that here in a second. We're welcoming tonight, our guest tonight is our digital wizard that we give shout outs to, Ross
Every
Jaynes.
time.
I'm contractually obligated. So
it's a minor.
There's not really a contract.
Minor.
I'm morally obligated.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, much more accurate.
It's a sheriff at this point.
But thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's always fun chatting with you. Should we get right into it, I guess, and talk about sort of the state level stuff? I've got it pulled up. I was going to write it all down, but there's an article from the New York Times, and they did all the work for me. So I'm going to credit them, and then read how this is going to go. Oh yeah, this is the liberal Jew media. Sorry.
Dang.
We just got banned from Facebook.
30, sorry, tangential, right? 30 years ago, that's what they call it, the Jewish media.
Yeah.
Now it's just the liberal media, or the MSM.
I'm aware.
Think about the messaging, you know?
Yeah, the R-rate refers there are triple parentheses.
Right. Anyway, so, for governor, we have, on the Democratic side, we had Carl Dean running against Craig Fitzhugh. Dean crushed 75% to basically 19%.
For governor? What happened to Phil Bredesen?
That's Senate.
Stand
by.
We're getting there.
Stand by.
Yeah. Because Bredesen was the governor.
Yes, you're correct.
Cannot serve another term.
That's true.
Yeah. So he's going for another
Sorry,
office.
that's exactly what I think. I
used to.
Oh, I do too.
So and that was cool. Like I didn't really have a strong opinion on other than myself, but like I'm a little surprised that it was that much of a blowout.
I think that's the big takeaway from this is that especially with Fitzhugh having such. Here, especially local support.
Yeah.
Just Dean just wiping the map.
Yeah.
With him, which is fine. They're both great gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that.
He had really strong leads pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
From what I can see.
I only see a few counties on that map that look like they might have belonged to Fitzhugh.
Yeah. Anyway, the more interesting, I think, of these primaries was on the Republican side.
Yes, definitely.
Because Diane Black has been a prominent figure in politics. She makes national headlines regularly
for shenanigans.
Yes,
let's not play.
I really wish a personal goodbye to Diane Black.
Right. Yeah. And getting to that, she only took 23% of the vote. It was actually Bill Lee, who I believe
came out
an actual conservative.
36%. Randy Boyd was 24%. Diane Black came in third of all of those, which is, I think, interesting.
She spent a lot of money on this race.
She did.
She also did a lot of negative campaigning.
She did. She sure did. And I love seeing negative results.
Yes,
negative campaigning.
That is always lovely.
That's funny. So I guess a lot of people are breathing a sigh of relief. I don't know how much. Okay, this is Tennessee, guys, right? Like, there's a presumption that the proposed blue wave sweeping the nation in these midterm elections is going to hit a seawall.
Will be
that's
a
what they're
solid,
talking about.
possibly royal purple.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. So it's like, well, whoever wins the Republican primary there's a strong smell of that.
Right.
That is who's going to be elected in November in Tennessee anyway. It's not necessarily true in other places.
Right.
But so the fact that Diane Black has been knocked out, for anybody who is not far right, I want to say left of center, but that's not even accurate.
Yeah. It's not a delineation anymore.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I think Bill fits in nicely. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about him outside of his pretty typical Republican platform that he's running But I do know a lot of people who work for him, and apparently most everybody who works for him, even the lower level, like just journeymen and tradesmen and whatnot, think the world of him. Like he comes to job sites, is a great
been
dude.
here multiple times.
Yeah,
he's been in Murray County a lot.
There's a lot to be said for being a genuine person.
Yeah.
I mean,
and trying to run a clean race.
And I think he did a great job of that, and I'd love to see results came out in his favor. Lee Company is a huge employer in this area. Yeah, I really don't have a bad thing to say about him. He sounds like a great conservative candidate.
There you go.
Yeah, all right.
I guess, okay, so we'll move on at this point to U.S. Senate. This is Bob Corker's seat that he's stepping down from. And Bob Corker's
one of the two we have.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad to see him go.
Why am I drawing a blank on the other one?
Lamar Alexander.
That's right, because I'm not a big fan of him either.
Okay. I actually don't know Bob, but I do know Lamar, and he's not a bad guy.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I just don't agree with his politics. I don't.
Okay, I mean, I
hate him as a human being.
I think we all.
I'm not going there. I'm just saying I don't.
Yeah.
I'm proud of both of them for what they've been saying in the last few years.
They have come out.
They've been a little better.
They've come out well.
Lamar not as much.
Yeah, but
Senator Corker has been.
Well, Corker's retiring. This is the same problem we've been talking about for I don't know how long. That like
you only get balls on your swan song. Is that what?
We are not. Guys, just warming up.
I mean, that's a solid PG-13.
Okay, I mean it's fine. We can say the fuck.
It ain't you. Yeah, it's not you we're worried about.
Yeah. Generally speaking,
this is going to be what is it? Not safe for work.
Yeah. These are never safe for work.
Pretty much never. We've had a few, but yeah. Anyway, so on to the Senate race. Corker's seat. Corker, in his swan song, has made some significant overtures against Trump and the administration and that, but it's because he's on his way out.
He's also said all the words that I want to hear out of a Republican right now, who holds either a seat in the U.S. Congress, either Senate or House. These are the words that I want to hear.
Sure. But anyway, on the Democratic side of this, Phil Bredesen was presumptive. He got 91% of the bloody vote.
Who was even in that category?
They're people I've never even heard of. Gary Davis and John Wolfe. I don't know them at all. I've never heard anything about them. They're people that probably just tossed their name. Actually, what we didn't include for the governor's race, there was a slew of independents, including two people that were almost on the podcast.
Actually,
Justin Cornett, who we might still have. He's a big guy in the Libertarian Party in Tennessee. And oh gosh, what was the other guy's name? I can't remember off the top of my head. But we were going to have him on when he pulled out of the race. He's a musician.
Yes.
I really, if you listen to this, I apologize because I'm not going to look up your name right now. But interesting guy. Lonnie Miller, maybe?
Yeah,
Lonnie Miller
actually sounds familiar.
I came to
I do remember that. Yeah.
So I talked to him.
Sorry, Lonnie, but you kind of bailed on us.
You bailed on us. You're a musician. You can music. It's cool, man. No hard feelings.
Everybody's got a thing.
Everybody's got a thing. So maybe Cornett will come on at some point to talk about.
I would love that. I really dig Justin. He's
an interesting guy.
He's a very interesting guy. He's got great opinions.
Very unique heel for a libertarian, which is.
Oh my God!
Let's stay focused. Okay, but anyway, I just want to do those sort of honorable mentions because of people we know, sort of friends of the Ferment, quote unquote. But so Bredesen took it massively on the Democratic side, and on the Republican side, obviously Marsha Blackburn beat an Erin Pettigrew. She got 84% of the vote, which is
I voted for Pettigrew.
Oh, I did too.
You voted Republican.
I know this bleeding heart liberal Democrat leftist social justice warrior whatever status cuck pulled a Republican primary ballot.
In full disclosure, I did also.
Really?
Yes.
Did you vote for Basil Marceau Sr.?
I did.
I knew it. They do it all the time. This is a whole thing for Democrats to do in the primaries around.
Hey, that man is honest. That man is honest. He's an honest man. He brings what he wants to the table, and I appreciate that.
Because you know what? I love hearing from leftists. not leftists. I apologize. This is a terrible term. What I love to hear from Tennessee liberals is that the House and the Senate and the General Assembly doesn't do anything and talk about anything that's important. and you guys voted for a guy who
talks about
gives
the
a shit
French
about that.
race.
Yeah, no way, and also wants to move the state line based on Lake Nickajack.
Right.
Cool, man. Really cool. Yeah, that's so.
It's not. It's because we wanted to lose in the dance. If you guys,
Because these are the only words you want to hear out of it.
That's right.
if people are not local, if people don't know what we're talking about, Basil Marceau, just Google
Please,
Basil Marceau.
basilmarceau.com. It's still there.
It looks like an EAUX kind of thing.
Mr. Marceau Sr., by the way, I don't mean to slander you. Or I guess it's technically slander.
It's not slander. We didn't say anything.
No, we said nothing negative about him. I voted for him. I like the guy. Like, I think he's an interesting character. I'm curious to see what he has.
I don't mean to malign you. I don't
think we're about to get sued.
I can predict. Yeah, I
You know.
say that. But I can predict who the Democrats are going to vote for.
But anyway, so look him up and you'll understand why we're laughing.
Yeah. Guys! Jesus.
That's not.
Anyway.
Moving on.
This one here. Oh, it's trying to ruin the podcast again. Okay, so District 4. This is relevant to us. I could go through the other districts. A lot of people who are listening who are local to like Murray County.
You should put this in the show notes so that way people can reference
Yeah,
it.
Well, I'll definitely add those in. But in the Democratic primary for U.S. House District 4 of Tennessee, we actually had two of the three candidates on the show, on the podcast. We had Mariah Phillips and Stephen Reynolds. Were both on the show. There was also Christopher Hale, who we did not have the opportunity to interview before the primaries wrapped up. It was my understanding because Reynolds was the nominee, the Democratic nominee, last time around to run against Scott Desjardins, who also makes national headlines.
A great guy. I liked him a lot.
Reynolds. I mean, yeah.
Excuse me.
Wait.
I'm not speaking ill of Desjardins either. I'm just saying I like Steve Reynolds.
I thought that's what you were saying. Yes.
Yeah. No, Steve's
For clarification.
Steve's great,
Right.
dude.
For clarification purposes, yes.
Yeah.
So we had Reynolds on, we had Phillips on. We liked them both. Nothing really negative to say about either of them, of course.
I didn't.
We actually had Mariah Phillips on twice. And that was cool, just to follow, because we had her on like way back, sort of when we were just starting out ourselves.
Yeah.
And like she just sort of followed up on all the things that happened. It was a good conversation we had.
Again, that's one of those that I can attest to locally that has been extremely involved. She comes
And I
back
think-
on a regular basis.
Yeah,
it's helpful that she's in Murfreesboro, so that's great.
Yeah.
But she's here. I mean, you can find her. She's not hard to track down.
She sought us out for a second interview. Just wanted to
she's
do it.
not
Yeah,
hard to
which is why
find.
she got one. Yeah, she saw us
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
If you contact me saying you want to come on our show for
Yeah, we'll find you a spot.
I'm gonna find you a spot.
Hashtag shameless plug. Continue.
Petrally, I know this is with it.
That's how this works, guys. Just
Yeah.
so you know, this is
It's
how the
okay.
sausage is made. Sorry, you're in the kitchen.
Hit it up,
And
baby.
so Mariah took it away. She ended up with 47.5% of the vote. And Chris Hale, who only threw his hat in, I think in the last like 6 or 8 months of the race kind of
They
thing.
had a great slogan.
I don't know.
Hail yes.
Is that really a slogan?
It really was.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was great. No, I loved it. As soon as
And
I saw
I-
that,
that's
that's actually pretty catchy.
Because Hale, interesting about Hale is he's been on like the Fox News shows.
Yeah.
He was,
Yeah.
he was a speechwriter for Obama, wasn't he? Or he was part of the press corps or something like that?
I don't know exactly.
He had
I
some
cannot
job.
attest to that,
He had
but
some
I
job
know
with
that he
Obama.
has been.
But he was like a designated like Democratic punching bag
Yes.
for
Yeah,
the Fox and Friends.
He
program,
actually had a position with the Obama administration somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
what it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Some
He jumped in the
PR
game
capacity,
late.
sure.
And,
He jumped in late. We didn't get, but he still got 34% of the vote. Interestingly, because the nominee last time was Reynolds, he only came away with 17.8% of the vote, just not even 18%. Which, to me, when we interviewed the both of them, to me, he seemed a little bit on the like presumptive, I guess, almost
Wait.
in terms of the presentation.
not only that, but he was much more moderate, I felt, than Mariah, at least as far as like discussing things on our show. You know, he brought me a lot of things because I gave him a lot of pushback on conservative issues and whatnot. And I felt like he was a lot more moderate about his answers. Like Mariah, she stuck to her guns both times.
Yeah, I mean, she's like those guns. Whatnot, and I admire that though. But she's
Sure.
very consistent about it, and
Yeah.
you know, that's really what she believes in, so she's defending it.
Exactly.
It's not just.
and I don't mean to disrespect
what is-
that either.
I'm not
But, yeah, but I did find it a little bit surprising that the further left candidate swept out.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, Mr. Reynolds seemed fairly moderate.
Kind
I
of
thought they would appeal
more
more
on
to
like
Democrats in
Democrat
Tennessee.
kind of side of things.
That seemed to me like a Democrat in Tennessee.
Which I thought rural Tennessee would probably play
well.
And
But
it-
apparently
surprisingly, it didn't.
No, not even a little bit.
But yeah. And then of course on the Republican
Well,
side of that,
before we do that, I
You
would
want-
like to
you want to say
say,
something?
well, I would just say that Mr. Reynolds, I appreciate you being on our show, and I
Yeah,
want to
absolutely.
congratulate you on a great campaign. I mean,
yeah, great. Yeah, nothing bad to say about him. At all.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm
enjoyed
just,
having
you
him
know,
on. He was a good guy.
yeah, I appreciate you being with us. And,
It's nice to have strong candidates.
And to
Absolutely.
Mariah,
Yeah, this is, you
That's
know,
wonderful.
with Mariah, congratulations on the nomination,
thank you.
and we hope you'll join us again before you go to the
Oh, and
general.
I'm sure we will have him on
Yeah.
again. I don't doubt it at all.
Right.
Before November. That said, on the Republican side, Scott Desjardins took it away, 70% versus a Jack Maddox, who I voted for.
Yeah, me too. I didn't.
Yeah.
And no offense, Representative Desjardins. I've just had you around for a while, and
Not impressed.
You're not bringing
Not
my-
impressed.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
impressed.
yeah,
Not impressed.
Not particularly. Okay, well, coming from the conservative, who's actually the conservative.
Still not impressed.
Still not impressed. I mean,
Facts hold true.
yeah. I mean, I know you guys don't like him, but
We're
new blood.
We're not with hypocrisy, but that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, exactly. That's not what it we could do a whole
Yeah.
show
Oh,
on who's
yeah.
the bigger hypocrite, right? Which I don't even find that to be
Yeah,
a
we're
direct
not
conversation.
even-
No,
We are not going there.
Nope, we can't win that one.
No, please no.
So, in terms of, I'm skipping ahead here.
Which does
essentially.
remind me, Dr. Desjardins, not Mr.
Okay, I'm glad you got the honorifics down. But anyway, for U.S. House District 7, we had Justin Canoe on.
We did.
Maybe about a month or so ago. Not really. I think it was June, maybe.
Oh, yeah, somewhere. in
Someone
there.
come back.
A
Someone
month too.
You
Somewhere
can check
in
on
there.
that, or I can put it in the show notes, what have you. He came away with 62% of the vote versus a Matt Reel, who's, I guess, a guy who's like a military guy.
I don't know Matt, but I know Matt's mom, and they are wonderful people. They're
Yeah.
lovely humans.
We got nothing negative to say.
He
How'd that break down?
he actually put
62,
in to
38.
vote. Yeah, he actually put in to run when he was overseas.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
still on deployment.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he was still deployed when he, decided.
That's
to
right,
run,
guys.
Which
There are
is
Democrats in the military.
quite
That's the thing.
impressive.
Yeah,
Remarkable.
we do know that.
Yeah,
And their
I know
team
you know
actually
that.
did get out and work pretty hard. Like they really did. They did a great job.
Yeah.
But Justin Canoe came up.
Justin, the thing
Justin,
that I've
Justin was
seen-
very affable. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
For
they're
District
both great
4,
candidates.
in
No doubt.
District 7,
Yeah.
in District 7, for people who are seriously local, that's like just above us, Williamson County.
Yeah.
area. So this is all really, really local stuff. If you're listening from far away, you may not care. But we've seen both of these people, and I think that's sort of the key. At least with regards to the primary with Justin Canoe and Mariah Phillips, we see them everywhere. They're busy.
We know they're here.
They're working.
We know they're here.
Spoken to both of them on
Well,
multiple
yeah,
occasions outside of podcast appearances.
and Justin gave us an interview like in the middle of nowhere on his phone.
Yeah, he
just
was
like rags.
he was. Yeah,
his best
he
just
got
to be
the
involved.
stick somewhere, driving around trying to find
Yeah.
signal so he could talk to us. So yeah, I mean, because he was seriously just
Doing the work.
going from one thing to
Doing
the
the
next
work.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, and he was telling us all about it. I mean, I
And he
appreciate
just-
him making
he
the
just
effort to
hustled,
be
yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mariah's hustle too, and I think that was really the deciding factor. So good for them.
So yeah, we've got them.
And then the Republican nominee is Mark Green, who ran uncontested.
who?
Mark Green.
I don't know who that is.
Yes, you do.
Oh, do I?
He was a Trump appointee for like something
that guy.
to be able to like Secretary of the Army or something
Secretary
like
of the
that.
Army, I think it was. Yeah.
And the top brass, of the United States military,
Right.
big admirals, generals, these guys are like, no, he doesn't represent our values. He doesn't represent the values of our soldiers. Like he's not. He essentially
Yeah,
he's a divisive
there
character.
were rumblings of something.
He's bad for the military.
There was something.
And he ended up withdrawing his his nomination. He ended up turning it down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do know.
Interesting.
Because he was he's an extremely religious conservative.
That may be.
I know
that may be an interview to try to land in the near future.
Oh, I would love to.
I would
I don't
think
know.
that
I
would
don't know. If we get
Okay. We're not just going to beat up on him over that.
I'm not.
No, but it's
I
an
am
interesting
expressing
story,
facts.
if nothing else, and it may be something to discuss.
Something tells me if it didn't leak to the media, he's not going to tell us himself.
That doesn't mean anything.
If what are you talking about?
Anytime people come out and say something bad about a nominee for a national office like that.
No, that was.
Oh yeah, but you can still get his
No, I know.
experience. That's still on a national level.
It was. I'm just saying that there's something in the closet that didn't come out, that no one let out. We don't know the details.
Maybe.
Yeah, there may be.
There's always another thing.
I mean, we all have other things. But it would still be, it's still local and it's still interesting enough.
Again, we're in the kitchen right now and this is how the sausage is made, I promise.
Right.
That's not indicative of something good.
Sure.
That's something devastatingly bad.
And this is inside stuff. But you and I had a conversation a long time ago in a group chat message with some other people that we know that got real ugly because we were talking about this guy. Because he was giving like a sermon at a church. There was that, yeah. So, again, super inside stuff, and I'm not trying to name names.
Okay, so I mean, there was something there enough for like the really high-ranking generals to come out and say, "Not a damn chance."
This guy's not. He'd be bad for morale. That's the long and short of it. You know?
That's not good ever.
And so he's running for Congress.
Speaking of somebody, full disclosure, speaking from experience.
I'm probably not going to vote for him. Probably not. I don't know. You can change my mind.
My uncle by marriage was up once for Speaker of the House and fell prey to Larry Flint hit job.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm not going to delve into that any further. But there you could look that up really easily.
Yeah. That's a lot of info strung together right there.
Yeah. Anyway, I can tell you that things can be dug up, and
if you've done it,
if you try and play the game, the nasty things
they will play against you.
And if you don't, then you can resign from the position and withdraw your nomination.
All right. What else was that?
That for state level stuff, that's really it in terms of stuff that we covered or we had dipped our beak into a little bit one way or the other.
Yeah, I believe so.
So now we come to super duper local politics. We're talking about people running for commission. Mayor, the people that we've had on with regards to that. Unfortunately, both the candidates that we interviewed for that did not make it. But you know what? They didn't do that. The U.S. The state rep that wasn't on there. Let's back up just a little bit, guys.
Yeah, like you forgot the other big.
It wasn't. The New York Times did not care.
64th district.
64th district. Yes. Do you want to go ahead?
We had. Let's see. We had Scott Sapicki running against Michael Fulbright for the Republican Party, and we had A.J. Holmes running uncontested.
On the Democrat side.
The race between Fulbright and Sapicki was really close, but Sapicki ended up taking it. I'm not sure what the numbers exactly were. I remember watching that one all night and kind of wondering which way it was going to go. Mr. Fulbright was actually on our show with us, and he ended up losing to Sapicki on that one. Sapicki was kind of the darling.
It wasn't. I don't think it was a huge margin.
No, I want to say
it wasn't huge.
Like
no,
less, like 1,000-ish votes.
Yeah, it may have been
plus minus. And I'm saying that.
And it's harder. Well, it's harder for us to track that because we can't.
Yeah, I can do that. Let me do some.
Okay, but in that instance, Sapicki was endorsed by the current sitting representative, Sheila Butt.
Yeah.
There was a big push from more influential people in the local Republican Party for Sapicki. Mr. Fulbright put up a great challenge.
Yeah, he did.
And I really appreciate it.
And he's another guy.
And again, another person who gets a special shout out. Mike, I really appreciate you being on our show. I thought you ran a hell of a race. You're a great guy.
Agreed.
It is what it is. When the powers that be kind of throw their weight around.
Sapicki was 5,785. Michael Fulbright 5,077. So about a 708 differential.
Not bad.
Votes
So
differential.
what that means to me is we needed 700 Democrats to pull Republicans. We could have put ourselves in a much better position, guys.
I'm not trying to speak. I'm not trying to speak ill of Sapicki either. I don't know the man very well. I just know that based on their platforms, I align more with Mr. Fulbright.
Sure,
I agree.
Sure,
I agree.
However,
that's
I'm not
not personal. Again, we should all state that this is our own personal beliefs and not any beliefs of any one particular organization and/or entity. I'm going to make sure to make that statement out loud. Disclaimer.
Thank you.
I can also probably never run for politics. So I have stronger opinions that I'm more or less keeping to myself at this point.
No, but again, Mr. Spicky, I don't know him. Seems like
No, I've never met him.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Seems like a great guy. Plenty of people will speak well of him. I have nothing to say about him on that end.
Okay.
Reached out a little bit, never got a response. Never got him on the show. We did talk to Mr. Fulbright, and he was really candid.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed Fulbright. It was great having him on. I like having. We have a little bit of a reputation at Fermenting Opinions to kind of promote more left-leaning type candidates or centrists or whatever.
Guys, and I want to say that to all my right-leaning friends and Republicans.
We want you on.
Yeah, please come join us. This is not a hit show. Just because he's a loudmouth doesn't actually mean that he's.
It's not even that. It's just it's about the hustle. I get out there and I'm glad handing all the time, with these candidates and stuff. And
it's who shows up. It's who shows up.
Who shows up.
I mean, realistically, right?
I don't go to Republican Party meetings because I don't want to have to.
But yeah, I feel
cut my way in and shoot my way out. Right?
I know a lot more about Mr. Fulbright for being on our show than I do about Mr. Spicky. I'm
sure. Yeah,
I can read policy platforms and
websites. That's great having him on.
But if I have a second to actually talk to you and kind of hear
learn who you are as a person. And I feel like you should do that with every single candidate that we are talking about that you are voting in November. If you can meet them, if you can go out and talk to them, if you can do that, you definitely should.
Hell, look them in the eye and ask them a question.
You got it. Hit them with the hard stuff. They are not.
These are just
guys. They're not idols. Yeah. They're regular people like the rest of us. Don't treat them as such.
And and I know quite a few people who ran for local office, and some of them I deal with day to day professionally. I see these people.
Win, lose, or draw.
Exactly. I know who these people are.
Right.
That's the same circles, and that's important.
I want to try and make more inroads, I think, with that, with regards to having more diversity of candidates,
yes,
and just voices and opinions and what have you, to ferment over. But I had to do it.
Bazinga.
Yeah. So Fulbright, Lawson, Sapicki, AJ ran uncontested. We had both of them on our show. Congratulations.
Speaking of AJ, he's going to join us next week?
Next week sometime. Yep. And we're going to have sort of an Ask Me About episodes. If you're listening now, and I'll have this out probably in a day or so. If you've got questions,
who is this young, smiley, handsome Democrat running for the 64th district? Right. Who seems to he's got a lot of good things to say.
You should definitely turn on the live comments for that one.
Yeah, we will for that one. And we're going to get some questions and things like that together. So that he can be. The idea behind it is that this isn't asking about. This is especially people who are not really convinced or not already on his team or not just trying to feed him fluff questions that he can knock out of the park kind of thing. But they're really challenging because this is southern Middle Tennessee.
I want to know why
we are very, very red here. Why would you be interested in a Democratic candidate?
I want to know why I should vote for this young Democrat I never heard of that's rocking a ponytail.
Right, exactly.
Hey,
he's a younger.
Those signs are baller. I'm just saying. There's just good-looking signs, man.
They are good-looking signs. That's true. And and he's it's not that this isn't. I don't work for his campaign or nothing like that. But I was very undecided about him before he came on our show, and I was really impressed.
I regret that was one I had to miss for
actual
familial reasons, but
sure.
And I'm sad that I missed that. But
I
haven't had a chance to speak with him immediately.
He convinced me, and I'm all about what do we have to do to win, and just be as mercenary about it as possible because there are lessons that were taught to us in 2016.
We'll get into that,
soon.
and so I was a little reserved about it, but I don't think I am anymore. So. But we'll see. We'll see what happens moving forward. Next week we're going to have him on. We're going to talk to him. We're going to ask him some respectfully challenging questions, and see what happens. So guys, stay tuned for that.
So we did that. Commissioners. Anybody?
Well, we had Colby Block. She ran a really hard campaign.
What district was that?
District 4.
That was District 4.
My district.
Okay.
And actually, Fulbright was actually a commissioner in District 4 as well.
Oh.
He was my commissioner.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's all extremely local to me, to my physical house. Mm-hmm. And Colby did not win, unfortunately, even though she worked really hard. She lost to What? Because so there's 2 commission spots for each district.
Yes,
and there are 11 districts.
Yes, and 11 districts.
And she ran a great campaign. And again, Colby, thank you so much for being on the show with us.
Absolutely,
you were a delight, and I think you ran a hell of a campaign. I mean, based on what I've heard, what I've seen, the knocking of doors, just being out there, putting in the foot traffic, putting in the hustle. That's great. And
I'm personally proud of her.
Yes. Yes, you are. Contractually obligated.
And I also
a little bit.
I work with Colby professionally, and we've never been in an adversarial role, but I've
we
seen
had a
her
great conversation with you.
I've seen her operate professionally as an attorney, and I think she does a damn good job. And
I agree.
I was glad to have her on the show.
Professional, competent, hardworking. She didn't win.
What more do you want out of a politician?
And why didn't she win, guys? We're just gonna say it. I'll be the one to say it. I don't care.
I cannot say it, but
okay.
I can say it.
Who did win?
It was Michael White, I believe. And he worked.
Matthew
White. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I know Michael White as well. Anyway, I apologize. Matthew White. I haven't met him, but I've heard good things about him.
I am actually a huge fan of Matthew White. He is an incredibly good-hearted, down-to-earth gentleman. Like he worked it. He really did. Gotcha. And congratulations to you, sir.
Gotcha. And who's the other one?
Connie Green.
Connie Green.
Which is another way of saying who's the other one?
And
so there's 4 candidates total. It was Colby, a lady named Patricia Hawkins. She was a commissioner. She won last cycle against you.
Right.
Hey, by the way,
it was a writing candidacy. It was all, we just made it up as we went along.
2 of your 2 co-hosts may have been involved in a different podcast at one point where we early celebrated. You were
you were supposed to be our celebrant.
Sorry, that should be a retraction that we named it and everything. We never had a chance to retract that.
We did once upon a time, guys.
By the way, in 2016, Ross did not win.
I did not win.
We did a live broadcast once upon a time. The 2016 presidential election.
Race to the Blackout.
Yeah, Race to the Blackout. I don't remember. It was a 4-part Facebook live stream thing. I'm pretty sure part 3 I was entirely passed out.
Shout outs to moderator Melissa.
Melissa.
And shout out to Jordan Strelke for joining us as well.
That's right.
It was a lot of fun.
That was a good time. You came in briefly, I believe, and reported your victory, which was premature.
I did, but I felt like
it was supposed to be.
I know you were going to say at the time. I was like, I don't think this is right, but.
There's a whole lot of that happened.
Yeah.
A whole lot of that happened.
I don't know.
It's going to be hard for me to recollect that because, if you guys know me, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton was depressing as hell for me on every
Sure.
And it was, here I was betting a lot of money that
it was a different
Hillary
time.
Clinton would win.
It was
looking, and it was I lost to several $1,000s.
Oh, we're all losing now. Don't worry about it.
Beg to differ. I think there's some victories in there that we're just glossing over.
We're not doing it. We're not doing that tonight. Okay. Anyway, so Patricia Hawkins, that's how this started. Mm-hmm. Patricia Hawkins was defeated as well. So both the... I guess they were independent.
Both the independent candidates lost, both Republican candidates won.
Yes.
Fact of the matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Matthew White was one of them. And
Correct.
Connie Green was the other one.
Correct.
Connie Green is...
Who's Connie Green?
That's going to be, I think, the theme.
Is it like who is John Galt?
No, there's a little more information.
Did anyone get that joke? I think you got the joke.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Atlas Shrugs. I appreciate that.
The point where
I'm
trying to so ham-fistedly make is that she is a person who put an R next to her name, did no work, put in no effort, and won. And apparently she was being interviewed after her win, like on the radio or something like that, and when they were asking her questions, she had no idea, didn't answer some questions at all, like just dead air kind of thing. Like, it was bad. We were there. We were at the watch party thing. That was the thing that happened, yeah.
Yeah, that is a thing. Now I remember that.
So I'm like, what? So this is what's depressing about tribalism and identity politics, essentially.
Yeah, Connie, I'm going to buy David's house at some point, and I'm going to run against you. I at least know what a county
and I will come back down here to campaign. I was going to knock doors for Colby. It didn't work out, unfortunately. But, like, Yes.
Come on, man. If you're going to run for the position, at least know what your job is.
Her job is to be a Republican.
What is?
That's her job. That's how she won.
How you won and what your job is are two very different things.
In reality, yes, I agree.
No, I mean, I can.
I haven't been paying attention to the political landscape recently. I don't know.
I can go in and change the
My
CV
job
and
is
say
to
that I'm a
run.
veterinarian.
Yeah, me too.
You don't eat meat because you're a veterinarian.
Exactly. And if that buzzword works, then okay. I mean,
Apparently, lots of people can say whatever.
oh no,
but that's not the point.
No, I do remember this specific interview, and yeah, oh god.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway,
It's a commission seat.
Moving on.
The negative impact on the
No, to me that's a
on the
negative
voting
impact
public,
always.
you know,
It's
lesser
fine.
than
It's
a bigger office. You know. Anyway,
guys, I can't urge you enough to actually pay attention to your local politics.
you should,
Yeah,
and
it matters.
that's probably the biggest takeaway from any of this is
Is
that your local elections matter more than you think they do.
No, of course they do. They matter a hell of a lot more than
here's the
national
thing.
elections.
So, like, people around here don't know that, though.
I know.
And I don't know whether they're too ignorant, and I'm going to call
hang
you
on.
just too dumb to know the difference. Because it's true. Most people around here, 33% of the electorate showed up to vote
I take offense
in their county election.
Great. So you
It's
mean
the
a
most
primary for the
direct
midterm?
It has the
Oh my.
most direct impact on your day-to-day life.
I completely agree.
Cool.
However, you just called a large portion of this county dumb.
I'm saying if you didn't vote and you are registered to vote, then you made a dumb decision. And I will stick to that.
Okay, that's a good clarification.
there you go.
So
I will
I got-
stick to that. Like,
I
that's
got-
not a thing. Like,
Actually, I'll endorse your opinion.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's not wrong.
Your
Please
apathy is
follow
dumb.
along.
Elections have consequences.
Yes.
Have we not learned?
Yes,
at
and
this
that's
point?
not in any one race. It's in all of them.
Yes.
Because
okay.
they are all
I
impacted
can
by,
give a-
by one choice.
Yeah, because I give you a rat's
Yeah.
ass what you did in the primaries.
Sure,
and everything.
of course.
But
The general is going to count in November. Like, that's a big one.
But
That has
what
nothing
you
to do
do-
with our county.
But what you do locally
or
affects
city.
you every day.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
No.
And if you did not vote in this election, then if something goes horribly wrong, it's your fault, and I'm blaming you right now.
Okay, I do not endorse that. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. I do that on my own. Again, any opinions expressed by Ross Jaynes are strictly Ross Jaynes' opinion and only that.
Yeah, we.
But this is also what we wanted you on. Just get you wound up.
Yeah,
Right?
What else happened locally? We had two candidates that we did not have.
My district, District 5.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, hell, I don't even know what occurred in mine.
Well, I know District 5, that's for school board, I know what happened there.
Yeah.
We had 3 write-in candidates, including one, David Moore, who
Right.
I will always refer to as Trump nuts.
Trump nuts.
Because he's just a misogynistic, ignorant, gaslighting piece of shit.
We have gone off the rails tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Again, I'm going to back that up.
Is a writing candidate for school board?
Look, I don't mind.
Got like 100 votes and won. We're talking about apathy.
I know
How many of candidates of people who care about what's going on in the education of their kids, right? I mean, that should matter too.
Again,
No one
is
wants to
that
put
a
their
fault?
foot forward.
Is that a fault of the electorate, or is that just an
Hang
issue
on,
of
I think
convenience?
I think it should be brought up that David Moore will make sure that Sharia law is not implemented in schools, and that you won't learn.
Yeah, he got caught up in the whole the.
Okay, but either way,
Great.
What-
What
what-
about the
what-
philosophy of Xandar? I just made something up, and it's great. Actually, that's the planet from Nevermind. I'm totally down with the Nova Corps. Get out of here. Moving on.
I love when you can actually do
He's
it.
a wizard.
I like what you can do with electronics. Anyway, David, I'm speaking out to you now, Commissioner Moore.
No, it's
actually
school board
representative.
sorry, not commissioner. Was he a commissioner before?
No.
No,
It's just back to school board.
You're thinking
School board.
Yeah.
School board member.
School board member Moore. I don't have any problem with you. I mean, obviously David does.
I don't know the guy.
I do believe there was a point at which you could have settled that.
I gave him numerous opportunities.
Yeah, no, I think
To
there
sit
was.
down
I think
civilly
that
and have
you
a
actually were
conversation.
given the
He was not
conservative gauntlet throw of you could actually man up and do something about it, and you backed out. But
That's what he does. But anyway.
I don't know the man. I really think
I don't know the guy.
I think he's pretty decent guy.
I used to be a much bigger this show is all about bringing people together and not hating on each other and this and that. So it seems a little uncharacteristic for me to do this. I used to be real deep into personal invective, and getting real ugly with people who were local, who I could actually see on the street, kind of thing. It's not the best way to go, but some old habits die hard. And he's just a bad human being.
Okay,
I don't know how to let that one go.
That is David Poseidon's opinion.
That's not my opinion.
I was going to say, James McVeigh's opinion is that I actually have interacted with David, and I don't find him to be that bad. David Mueller.
I don't even know. I don't even know this person, so I cannot.
That's fine.
I don't find him to be bad at all. Actually, I find him pretty engageable. But I do know that you have been called out to fist fights before, and
it wasn't a fist fight. It might not have been a fist fight.
Anyway.
I don't know. I don't make assumptions about how it's going to go. How about that?
I do dock style points for not showing up. I'm just saying, if you talk the game and then you don't show up.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Right. Where were we with this? Yeah, there was some other writing candidate. Basically, it's sort of a big disappointment all around with regards to that. And someone who I personally have expressed my opinion on, and we're done with that. Basically, just kind of ended up getting the job again because nobody cared, and he was a familiar name, essentially. And that's a disservice to the people of this community. So, you got something else?
I was going to say, if we voted party line, I mean, he's in my district. I never saw an option for anyone for school.
They're all writing. They're all writing.
How the hell would I have done that? Voting electronically.
They would tell you.
No, he's in my district.
No, you hit the button. I've done this.
It's right.
I did this for myself last election, actually. You hit the button, and it'll come with a keyboard, and then you type on the keyboard.
Well, I know how that works, because I wrote in... I did see that. I voted for myself.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did.
There you go.
That's a wiser choice.
So. Yeah, well, I didn't know. I voted for myself. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I voted for my father. I take that back.
Oh, okay. Let's roll this too.
Yeah, I mean, we're both James McVeigh. I just wrote James McVeigh in.
It could have been either one of you.
But you meant your father.
Yeah.
Mr. McVeigh, you mean my father.
Always.
Moving on.
What are we moving on to?
The last thing.
Let's get to the final thing, and this
is a fun topic.
It's a good one way to describe it. So county mayor. We had several candidates.
I will put those numbers momentarily.
Please do. The incumbent was Charlie Norman. He had been county mayor for last couple of cycles.
Mr.
Shack. He's been in there for one cycle.
Only one. Okay.
Starting in 2014, he ran as a Republican on the Republican ticket.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Republican primary that cost Murray County approximately, and I don't remember.
Oh no! You guys whined so much.
It was $48,000 to $60,000, and I don't remember the exact numbers between those two.
For a Republican primary in general,
$54,000-ish $1,000.
Yeah, and then you. Cool. Congratulations! You guys made this big thing about it.
I didn't say a word about it,
except for calling it out. Anyway,
just saying there was a primary. That cost a lot of money.
That was back in the day,
right? Which. Not going down that tangent because I don't know what they're doing now.
But now we don't have primaries anymore.
Right,
so that's great.
No, they're just doing that at a caucus behind closed doors. And I did say that out loud.
Yeah, that's okay, and you can do that because
that's literally what happened.
Because the Democratic Party forced that. And how do you feel about yourself now?
Oh, I didn't do anything.
Who won?
I didn't do.
No, we'll get there.
If you can't tell, Ross is not Democrats.
I didn't do a single thing.
Ross is not all Democrats.
I'm just saying, if you're going to push this big sanctimonious point over primaries to elect people, fine. It costs some money, but now instead you said, hey, let's draw straws in the back and hope everything works out hunky-dory.
But isn't that more indicative
as representative?
Isn't that more indicative of a broken system than...
Yeah, it is, because they got challenged on money spending. And why do they get challenged on money spending? Because somebody, the Democratic Party of Murray County, wants to nitpick, and just try and win victories.
No. This is for people who are watching somebody do this. This is our little hand signals for the podcast to say we're
off topic.
We're a little off topic. We need to wrap up whatever it is.
Just saying, if you want to argue about this one, Cool deal.
We can come back. We can come back tomorrow.
You
hit this again.
You've created your own golem. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that's fair, honestly. Because
I'm not debating that.
What was
Not
before
even-
was,
I wasn't debating the other point either. But
what was before was ugly. What is now is bad. So
Cool.
there's no But anyway,
So Murray County mayor race.
right. So
We had
Norm was incumbent. Shackelford, who was a commissioner, I believe.
yes,
Was
correct.
a commissioner. He was running, and those appeared at the time to be the front runners. And then we had
Andy Ogles,
Andy
who
Ogles.
was director of Tennessee's chapter of Americans for Prosperity, who's not held office before.
Right.
And then we had newcomer Amanda Kelton again,
Right.
someone who's never held office before.
but she came on our show, friend of the Ferment at this
She
point.
did, yep.
Cool ideas, good person. Nothing negative to say about her at all. She worked hard on her campaign. I believe she came in last.
Not everything negative to say about anybody on the campaigns, honestly.
And Andy Ogles won.
He did.
And he won by a pretty big margin.
Over
Ross is looking it up. It's like
I'm trying to find it.
Somewhere between
Do you know what's impossible is finding anything on the Herald's website.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because it's so
Well.
brilliantly.
Just saying, like I'm under elections and there's no elections information.
I'm surprised. I've got something to say about the Daily Herald.
We're getting this.
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
So Andy Ogles, he won by a pretty good margin, is my understanding.
He did. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of at least 1,000 votes.
I think it's 1,500.
Somewhere between 1,000 and
closer
1,500
is the
We'll
closer.
get the final number for you.
But Mr. Ogles was the Republican Party nominee. Again, we're
Right.
just talking
Because
about
Norman and
closed
Shackelford
orders thing.
and Kelton all ran as independents.
They did.
And I don't know, Kelton particularly made a point of that.
Oh yes. Well, and when she was on her show, especially,
Yes.
that she
Because
was.
it wasn't about party
She
affiliation. It's
didn't
about,
give a damn about that. She didn't want to
the
see
needs
any
of
kind
the
of party
community,
affiliation. So, what should otherwise be a very boring race? Everyone's like, "Hey,
Relatively,
This is like Mayberry stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay.
relatively
Okay.
just everyday, kind of thing.
Yeah, so this all kicked off with a Facebook post by the chairman of the Democratic Party of Murray County, who made some accusations about a flyer that was running for Miss Kelton,
Right.
or Mrs. Kelton, who
Yes,
something about.
There was because I received one.
Yeah,
I don't know if you got one or not.
Well, yeah, I did too, and but that's.
There was a mailer that came out. Here's the sort of the shortest version of it. A mailer came out promoting Amanda Kelton. It was talked about. It didn't say anything that was not factual. That's important. It said all good things about her, positive. You should vote for XYZ reasons. This is her positions.
And I think that's important. There was no negative. It was not negative even a little
And
bit.
featured pictures of her with her family, showing that family oriented, yada yada.
Was
all these things.
But the background colors were blue, and wasn't the message something like "Stand with her" or "Stand with Amanda" or something like that?
It's floating around in my car.
It's not giving me the total numbers, but I'm going to give you the percentages.
Sure, let's do the percentages.
Andy Ogles was 36.48%. Norman was 28.73%, and Shackelford was 26.83%.
And what was Kelton?
It doesn't list that.
Okay.
Okay, she had over 1,000 votes. I know that.
Somewhere around 1,000.
But
She did.
But the point here is that so this
We go
flyer
with the
comes
actual number,
out.
stand by.
Right.
This flyer comes out supporting Mrs. Kelton, and Mrs. Kelton has no idea about it.
Right.
She's like, "Yeah, I didn't pay for that. I didn't have the kind of funding to do that." Like,
Right.
Nor did it have her tagline on the bottom saying that she did pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. There was
Right.
nothing
Specifically, like-
nothing
No.
attributing.
No.
We're not thinking this message being approved by none of that stuff.
Instead, there was a tagline for some obscure
Paid
person.
for by the Great America Coalition.
Correct.
Which, if you Google and research, is a hard right Trump supporting super PAC, essentially, or one of their branches.
That's my understanding. Now, there's a little bit of fuzziness here because what happened, sort of in the local paper and all this good stuff.
Well, not a local paper. I'm talking about if you go look it up and
No. I'm saying in terms of what happened after this.
Total votes?
Yes, go for it.
Andy Ogles, 6,839. Charlie Norman, 5,386. Sonny Shackelford, 5,031. Amanda Kelton, 1,473.
You got basically
73.
1,500
Almost
votes.
1,500.
Very good. So what's supposed here by this mailer put up on this uber conservative PAC, right?
Yeah.
Is that
it's a national PAC too? This is not a PAC that's just Tennessee based.
This is big money. This is national level politics stuff. And for some reason, they thought they would come down to Murray County and support Amanda Kelton
for county mayor.
For county mayor,
not running for a national seat or a state level
that she did not send them of her and her family. To me, that's the most disturbing.
Yeah, they took off of Facebook.
It was pulled off Facebook.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You can do that. Yeah,
photos taken off of Facebook.
I believe that to be the case. Now, I cannot confirm or deny that, but I'm 99% sure.
So, the chairman of the local Democratic Party made a big stink about it on Facebook personally, and lo and behold, his story was then parroted by our local newspaper, the Daily Herald, by our editor-in-chief, I believe, Jaynes Bennett,
yep.
Who front page,
top fold,
whole paper, put out an article basically saying the same thing. And the conclusion was that Andy Ogles...
The conjecture was...
Yes. The conclusion. The conclusion
conjecture.
I'm saying conjecture.
Okay. The conclusion of the article was that a special interest hard right group had come in favor of Andy Ogles to split the vote because Andy had the Republican tag. And
true story.
Charlie had the backing, was the incumbent.
Right.
And that it was in his best interest and Mr. Ogles' best interest to split the party and to split everybody else and to try to draw Democratic votes for Kelton. Right. In the process of this, I guess...
Because if Kelton didn't have recognition, if she wasn't known essentially by Democrats, that you have the choice between the two other names that you know, which are Norman the incumbent and Shackle.
Okay, so let's back up though.
Okay.
So Andy Ogles is the only person with the Republican tag.
Yeah,
everybody else on the ticket is running as an independent.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Without the backing of the local Murray County Republican Party.
This is correct. This is correct.
That's all. That's all I wanted to clarify.
And it's important, and that's correct. So this article that Bennett publishes as front page top fold.
As a news story.
Yes,
as a news story.
Not as an editorial, as a news story.
Correct.
Reporting as fact is... Well, there's no fact ever actually asserted, but
it's all conjecture. Again,
there's no fact actually asserted.
Yes,
but he does interview everybody.
It's not wrong.
Well, he does interview everyone. His conclusion in the end, his conjecture is that deep state Republican, right wing crazy forces on the national level are trying to support Andy Ogles, and you should not vote for Amanda Kelton because all that would do is divide the vote.
I don't think he's quite on the nose about it. It was heavily implied.
I wish that I saved the original article because I can read it.
Any thinking man can read it.
I read it at the time, but I don't remember the...
Okay. I'm a Daily Herald subscriber.
But you know it.
So in that article, Mr. Bennett describes Amanda Kelton as a Democrat running as an independent, which is something she's never said. Yeah. And she did not say
that. She has been independent the whole time.
Yeah, no. I mean, she didn't even really sound like a Democrat when I was interviewing her. Like, I know what Democrats smell like. I've been around my whole life. I lived in New Orleans for 10 years. I could smell a Democrat a mile away. Anyway.
I showered, all right?
She honestly...
That's fun.
The stink of the swamp will never come off of you.
No, it's not our swamp, man. It's y'all's swamp, man.
Anyway, well, my point is, and I know we're making light of it, but seriously, this is important because Jesus, that's not journalism.
No,
it was terrible. The Daily Error has been embarrassing us for years and years and years since I was a child. And
I will point to my favorite Daily Herald misstep, which is when I was a junior in high school. They evacuated all of us to Leslie Nielsen Stadium. The actor.
I like Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, I love Leslie Nielsen, and I wish our stadium, if it wasn't already named after Lindsey Nelson, a very famous, prolific sports announcer, was.
Leslie Nielsen is a
Nielsen.
national treasure.
Yeah, should be treated as such. Dracula, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
All right. How many naked guns do you have to love before you love them?
Oh, all three of them, baby. You better buy in for all of them.
Oh my gosh.
Lindsay Nelson was a local treasure.
A local treasure, yes.
Yeah, and that was a headline.
That was
okay, but that's not the same thing. It's probably been on for a while.
No. It is a systemic issue, obviously.
And it has been for a long time because Christ almighty, how hard is it to put type into, order?
Sometimes you misspell things. And again, no one's beating up on, I can't say that I'm beating up on the Herald in general. I can't say that.
Right.
Because, there are great
I've known many people.
And there are people that have worked there that take their job very seriously.
I do believe you need a new chief editor, though, badly.
Somebody's got to do that work.
Also, I think you should at least understand the difference between a news report and an editorial.
That's another topic.
But again,
but to present something as fact that is very clearly conjecture is not in the realm of reporting. I'm sorry. At that point, you might as well be a damn blog because that's all you're doing.
I would trust Perez Hilton more than that, but Perez calls people. See, the problem,
high-level shade, ladies and gentlemen.
I was waiting for a reference to Tennessee Star.
Tennessee Star is much more factual.
Oh, I was like that. If you go back and look at the polls, their polls are actually pretty much dead on.
Yeah, wait. But the important part here is that we had a top-fold front page news report
presented as news
that never had a source that confirmed anything.
That confirmed or denied, never either.
Right.
Mrs. Kelton was on there, and Mrs. Kelton spoke on the record and said, "I had nothing to do with this, but I really appreciate the support, and I like the things they're saying, and I agree with the message."
Which is ultimately the best stance to have.
She didn't know anything about it.
Solid stance.
So then Mr. Bennett then interviewed, supposedly, I couldn't tell if he interviewed him or not, honestly, at this point, but he supposedly interviewed Mr. Ogles, and Mr. Ogles said, "I had nothing to do with this. I have no knowledge of it. And if I were going to be involved in this, I would have sent out more campaign flyers for me."
Yeah.
That's it. There was never a source that said anything else.
Maybe tell you, however, he may not have had a single
we don't know that.
But some top-level pack decided, well, I'm going to come in.
Guys, we're not. You have to take people with their sources. Again, Mr. Ogles said he didn't know about it.
Right. We have to assume that that's the case.
He had nothing to do with it.
That's all I'm saying.
He also went further to say
that I'm not making the assumption at all.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, Mr. Bennett then goes on to say basically that AFP or someone like Americans for Prosperity, who Mr. Ogles used to work for, one of these
decided to influence a local election. Was the takeaway?
Yeah, well, the other takeaway was don't vote for Amanda Kelton because you're going to split the vote and Andy Ogles is going to win.
Which, again, is also not the thing you should do as a reporter.
And initially when this happened, Mrs. Kelton's Facebook campaign came out with a statement about this, and I commented on it. I looked at it, and I read through the article again, and I gave my own professional opinion. They were claiming slander. I corrected them and said, no, that would be libel. And I also said that I don't really see the libel here. Now, a few weeks later, if not even a few weeks, a website came out called dumpthedailyherald.com that published a letter from the campaign written to the Daily Herald that pointed out every instance of libel. Upon reading that again and pulling up not the electronic article that I read that had already
been modified.
That has been modified without a retraction.
Let's be real.
It was modified without a retraction. Reading the actual print.
Again, which is another problem to discuss another day. That's a whole thing.
But reading the actual article as it was written, there are several instances of libel. Clear-cut libel. Especially in a county that is, 80% Republican?
Right.
You have an independent running who you label as a Democrat? That's problematic.
Sure.
Especially given the divisive nature of this country now.
And then the article that came out, it came out, it was revised a couple days later.
And it's still there. The revised
article is still there. There was never a retraction printed.
No retraction, yeah.
There was never a retraction mentioned in the article.
Which, again, be professional.
Mr. Bennett, I only took a couple of journalism classes in college.
You always publish the retraction. You always you publish the retraction. You say thank you.
Okay, that's true.
You eat your humble salad and you move on.
A dedicated retraction section of the paper.
You are not InfoWars and you're not Breitbart. You're not Axios. You're not Occupy Democrats. You can't publish things and claim them as truth or even push the idea as truth without a source that backs you up in any kind of way at all.
Yeah, you need nothing.
Someone to even infer it. Now, I know who inferred it and I know who whispered in your ear. And I'm not going to name drop that.
We call that a red herring.
But what you did was you took someone's word for something. And I don't know if it aligned with how you felt or what you did.
Or if it just smelled bad.
Or if it smelled bad.
Again, red herring.
The bottom line is it's irresponsible.
You sold something to us that was not true, or at least not verifiably true, and you published it on the front page, top
It was as truth, written as fact, and I think that's the primary problem that everyone can draw from.
Absolutely.
By the way, whoever the shareholders are, or whoever actually owns the Daily Herald,
Gatehouse Media.
Gatehouse Media, if you're listening,
I know
I still.
That's my job.
I would still happily throw my hat in the ring to give you an editor who not only will do copy and who can spell properly and has an actual understanding of style, but I'll also make sure these really terrible things don't happen and you don't end up with a libel suit. Because you're staring one.
Someone should have pumped the brakes on this. Someone should have said, that's probably not a wise choice.
No one did that because the guy in charge barrel-headed his way through it. And
I'm just saying somebody should.
I think... I won't defend this for a second, but just to try to sort of get in the head of what might have been going on there. Like, you think about print journalism is dying generally, right? So how do you keep it afloat?
But okay, so listen, back up right now, because with every single attack on the media right now, why would you even step the line? With every single, there was somebody arrested today for threatening to shoot up CNN. Yeah. Why would you even step?
C-SPAN.
No, it was CNN.
Oh, C-SPAN.
Why even step the line? Trying to purport something that is news when it is definitely not news. You are doing your industry and your profession a disservice.
This is why we normally don't have the Digital Wizard on. However, I'll actually parrot his remarks.
No, I agree.
It's not wrong.
It's destructive.
It's not wrong. How do you expect anyone to be able to tell the truth when the people that are supposed to tell the truth are out there vehemently not doing that?
That's embarrassing.
It is not only embarrassing, it's a disgrace to the industry. And I'm sorry, it's true.
But the running joke of calling it the Daily Error since I was a child, and I was 10 years old.
Ours was the Daily Disappointment.
Yeah. That has, and again, so it's the Gatehouse Media. This has not died. Nothing has changed. This newspaper is a joke. If you want help, talk to people who
there are good reporters. I don't want to down anybody that's trying to do a great job.
I've known photojournalists who work for the Herald.
I'm not saying that. I'm not downing the Herald as a whole. I'm just saying that if you want to do your job, do your fucking job. And do it well.
Someone has to actually police what gets published.
Somebody's got to be there to do that. I'm sorry. Someone has to do this work.
It's truly
someone has to do this work. And if you're not going to do it, then let somebody else do it.
And I can't join your rating enough. I'm so.
For as many bad opinions as I have, I'm not necessarily wrong.
And I quietly concur.
You've colorfully said it quite a bit, and I'm not even trying to go there. All I'm saying is that I agree with you. I mean, this is embarrassing.
Do not embarrass my fucking profession.
Not only that,
just don't. Stop. Quit it. Also, do anything else.
You meddled in an election.
It could be said that you may have swung it.
I don't know. I
can't say that, but it could be. Someone could say that.
If I believe the teeth of her campaign, Mrs. Skelton's campaign, then we'll find out in court.
Yeah.
But at first I didn't think so, and then when I compared
The original to the edited copy. Yeah, it's a different animal.
It really is. There's an argument to be made there, and I am highly embarrassed that we report that as fact, or even give the idea that it's fact. If you do not have a source, any source, an unnamed source, somebody saying, you know what, Ogles was involved, or AFP was involved, or there was anything involved, do not even give the idea that exists.
Now here's the thing. There's nothing wrong in reporting the fact that Amanda got the benefit of a mailer from third-party pack. You definitely should do that. Let's make very clear clarifications here. That's fine.
Actually, I need to go back and look again, but I don't even know if he tried to contact the pack.
I don't think anybody did.
No, I don't believe he did. I believe he just reported on it and said it was AFP.
I don't know. I can't speak to that one way or the other.
Affiliate or something. It's just a
story. However, it is a newsworthy story. Do not get me wrong. It is an extremely newsworthy story.
All over it. As a journalist, yeah, of course.
However,
there was a more responsible way to report what happened.
Again, it's not the story in of itself. It's the approach and the tone.
It's not a more responsible way. It's a responsible way to report it.
A responsible way.
What this was a vast miss of the mark. Like, you just crashed and burned. You didn't even come close to the mark of responsibility. You just crashed and burned. You missed entirely. And you basically published an editorial and you made it front page news. Like, what, a week before the election?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Enough time to make a difference. In my opinion.
Congratulations, you're James Comey.
I'm going to go William Randolph Hearst. But that's a different story.
Yeah.
With the
puns and the wit. Yeah. The Daily Error could really use our help.
Headlines would never be the same.
Future editor-in-chief, Ross.
Never.
James McVeigh.
Never. I'd throw it over.
I'd be happy to do it.
Give me a column.
I'll just it's just local reporting. It's not that hard to do.
My thing is like I sit objective.
And actually, I will say another thing. Our sports department in the Daily Herald is excellent.
Yeah,
they do a damn great job.
Yeah, throw it up for Maurice. I talked to him today. Maurice Patton. He's great. Like I cannot speak poorly of staff in general. I cannot speak poorly of that at all. Like I know a lot of reporters that get out there and do a great job at what they do. That's not the issue at hand. That's not it, guys.
It's literally run though, like, I don't even know a comparison, but it's run very poorly. That's the problem. Is that it's not the people on the ground. It's not people doing the reporting. It's the people who actually are in charge of what's being reported. You are failing miserably.
You cannot put forward conjecture as news. I'm sorry. It can't be done.
Please don't do it.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Please don't use an actual news media source that's in print to do that, at least. Again,
do your own blog.
If you want to join InfoWars, call on an opinion.
Be my guest. Like, if you want to have your own thing somewhere else, do whatever you want. Apparently, you can say whatever you want and get away with it now. I'm just saying.
Social media won't hurt you, but,
Right.
Otherwise.
I mean, until you get big enough to be a problem.
Anyway,
you can get out there in the Port Authority with a bullhorn and just scream at people. Which is what I was doing.
Where you belong.
Yeah, this is where you belong. That was a meme.
But I think we've hit the point where we have beaten this horse to death.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry for the gangbang.
Right. Yeah. This is a lot of this, especially the last segment, is extremely local politics type stuff. So again, people who are they're going to get all of this.
I say that, but I think that it's relevant nationwide. If you want your media to be better, then you have to hold them to a better standard.
Right. Yep.
And if they are going to do so poorly as to do something such as this, then you should definitely hold them to a better standard and call them out on it. Now, granted, we're not saying, why don't you tackle me? I'm the media. But I try to be I'm objective as possible in my
media.
In my dealings. Like
I also don't use fake sources and
I'm not going to try to pass off something as real when it's very obviously not, and I'm not going to try to tell you something that's very obviously not true, or at least leaning that way if I don't have the evidence to back it.
Absolutely.
Period. We are supposed to be objective. Objective facts are objective. If you reported the story as it was, it wouldn't be a problem.
This is why we took the pro-truth pledge.
Yes.
This is brass tacks on that stuff.
Oh, it is.
Ditto. Up and down. Tell the
truth. You don't know it's true, don't talk about like you know it's true.
Exactly.
man, there's a whole nother level for journalism. Like,
Right.
it's not just a candidate or somebody talking.
Whole other time, whole other day. We should have that conversation
I'd be happy to, but it comes down to if you don't have a source of any kind backing what you're saying, you're not journalism.
One that
you're Alex Jones.
the court of law.
Apparently the frogs are gay. You know, like I mean, you're just making
lizard people. I don't know.
making shit up. And Mr. Bennett, it's not acceptable. You just can't do that kind of thing. Please, for the love of God,
Hashtag
resign, fix it, or be fired. I mean, there's not much to say. And I don't know how you fix it at this point because you really did meddle into an election.
Yeah.
It's in the weeds. It's in the weeds.
Yeah, you're done.
So guys, the ferment's been pretty stout tonight. This has been some strong, some high proof ferment.
Again, the opinions of Ross Jaynes are strictly the opinions of Ross Jaynes and of no one else.
And I would have to say the same with my own opinions regarding said personal invective from earlier in the show.
This is true. However, we have to admit that we are fermenting opinions and we do publish these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, but truth is truth.
Well, yeah, we also are not claiming to be reporting objectively. This is people drinking bourbon and giving basically
yelling at the microphone.
We're screaming into the void right now.
We don't have a source on air with us or anything.
No.
Again, speaking of that, Ross here is his own source, and he's obviously made that clear. No one's trying to attribute opinions to Ross that he did not say or make.
That's correct.
You should definitely not do that in print.
No.
Because that would be libel?
That would be libel.
Yes. And in the case of someone that is in office, it would have to be malice. So,
True. However, some young lady who's just running for an office
totally qualifies. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that said,
is that it?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for tonight. I think we've hit all the things that
high notes.
To be hit up and on and everything else. Well, with regards to finding us, other than if you're obviously watching this on YouTube right now, we're on the web, fermentingopinions.com. We have a Facebook page and group. Please check us out there. We're on iTunes, Beyond Pod, where you find all your podcasts.
You should subscribe. You should subscribe.
Our digital wizard thinks you should subscribe.
You should subscribe. I'm just telling you.
The wizard is never wrong.
As always, a shout out. As always, a shout out to Ross Jaynes and Ross Jaynes Media.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we always appreciate that.
He's here to be the recipient of that adoration in person. It's fantastic, and fantastic having you on. It's always enjoyable.
And it was lovely to be here.
Thank you. And I guess for us, I'm David Papadi.
I'm James McVeigh.
And we're Fermenting Opinions, and we'll see you next time.